And we are live. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to episode 7. Yeah, of hashtag them dragons, the number one live House of the Dragon reaction show on Pornhub. I am your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka DHNIC. And I'm joined as always by my co-host Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hello.
And the Warden Matt Ritter.
What's going on?
Man, lots going on. A lot is going on. I was repeating that to myself this entire episode. A lot is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're here to talk about House of the Dragon on HBO. Episode 7. I believe this episode was called Driftmark.
Oh, they gave it a name?
I was able to find it.
Oh, okay. When I was looking, it still hadn't been named yet.
Should have called it Dick of the Dragon, but we'll talk about that.
It could be called what?
Dick of the Dragon, but we'll talk about it.
There was some more hot D happening, so yeah. I had some contenders for my hot D moment of the week this week, but man.
Every time I thought I had mine, something else
happened. That's what I'm saying. This was because after last week, we were all kind of just like about last week. Like it wasn't bad, but it was just like
there wasn't a lot to report on.
You weren't thrones in like y'all normally be thrones in, and they came back this week and they were like, "Yeah, we thrones in now." So
you guys spent more time looking up a fucking cartoon episode than we did talking about the show last week.
What was the show?
Oh, I was looking up Rugrats stuff.
Rugrats. Yeah, you brought up Rugrats, and then Travis
Charlotte's mom
completely forgot we were talking about House of the Dragon. He's like, I need to find this Rugrats episode. And
to be fair, that would have happened no matter what happened in the show. Like, if I'm being completely honest with myself.
Even if more things had happened, we just would have had a longer show.
Exactly. Nothing was going to deter me there because at that point it was driving me nuts that I didn't know exactly when this episode happened. So I had to find out.
Fair enough.
It's okay. I too have ADHD.
Yeah. But anyway, we are not here to talk about Rugrats this week, or my ADD or Mara's ADD. We're here to talk about House of the Dragon. That hot D. Them dragons.
That's why
dragons,
I'm here,
y'all. So let's talk about it. Let's get into our overall thoughts first. Let's start with you, Mara. What did you think about this one?
It started slow for me, and then it took turns very quickly. So it was a lot to take in. There was a lot of things happening. It was kind of like we had just a lot of things happening. Just like it's hard to really just kind of sit and just like have one feeling about it, because like even throughout the episode, like closer towards the end, like I kept feeling like, oh man, that's wild. And then it's like, oh, like there were some pleasant surprises, and then there were some like, oh shit moments. So it's hard to say I have like one general feeling.
Okay. How about you, Mr. Ritter?
I mean, I put it in my tweet. This was a Jerry Springer show-ass journey that they took us on. We had incest. We had assault. We had someone faking their murder to run off with their gay lover to another country. We had
just
so much shit going on.
Oh, we have things to talk about when we get there, though, because
theft.
I was just like, wait a minute.
Crazy.
Pretty sure a guy was in the sea taking a piss and crying at one point. Like there was a lot going on in this episode.
Really taking a piss?
Why else do you wade out waist deep into the water, Travis? You got
There are a lot of reasons
And
to
cry.
wade in the water. There's a whole song about it.
I only go out waist deep if I'm taking a piss.
I mean, you don't go out swimming very often, then I guess, huh?
I mean, if I go swimming, I go swimming. But if I'm in like full clothes and I'm going to wade out waist deep, it's because I got to pee.
How many times have you done that, Matt?
Probably every time I've gone to the beach.
I mean, the beach is the world's bathroom, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
but like you went to the beach and then went out in the water fully clothed, waist deep?
Yes, if I had to pee. Socks, shoes, everything. Why not?
Because you can take them off
It's
before
not a
you
nude
go
beach,
out
Travis.
Uh,
Trust me,
It-
nobody wants to see this.
It
What?
doesn't have to be a nude beach to take off your shoes and
I
socks.
feel like your wife would beg to differ.
You could ask her.
I wanted to see if she would pop up in the comments to argue, but I guess not.
Oh no, she is already probably, if not passed out, halfway through smoking herself to passed out. So
That sounds like me. That sounds like my kind of night.
Yo, so
What were your thoughts, Travis? Somebody got to ask the host.
wait, before we get there,
He wasn't used to the courtesy.
I wasn't. I'm not. People don't usually ask what I think. I'm usually asking everybody else.
Look at him blushing.
But no, I'm actually laughing at something else is because I'm going to ask Matthew, when's the last time you attended a nude beach, Mr. Ritter?
I've never been to a nude beach.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm stuck on the fact that you just called him Matthew.
Oh yeah, Mr. Matthew Robert Ritter. Yeah.
Not
I
you
did-
putting his whole government name
It is
on
what it
the
is. I did, however, have a very interesting 5-year anniversary experience at a strip club that I explained to you all before we got on air. So
Right. I think next anniversary y'all should do a nude beach instead.
I'll talk
That's
to her about it.
so funny. I've never been to a strip club, but I've been to a nude beach.
You never
Don't-
been to a strip club, Mar?
Never.
We'll
Don't
remedy that
trust the Google
situation.
and Yelp reviews. That's what I'll tell you right now.
I don't trust them for everyday things as it is. I don't trust them when they say that the museum gets a certain amount of traffic on a certain day. I don't trust that shit for
All
nothing.
lies.
You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of lies, let's talk about House of the Dragon because that's what we're here.
Back
to talk
on track.
about.
Yeah, 'cause I almost went on a whole tangent.
I thought we were here to talk about fucking Marvel because we got Agent Fury sitting down there trying to host the show.
Look.
That's racist.
Do not.
I mean, how many one-eyed black men can I compare him to?
You only know one other one-eyed black man?
No, but I said, how
And
many are
bald.
there?
How many one-eyed black men do you know, Matt?
2 right now.
So you do only know one other one-eyed black man.
One other, yes, off the top of my head.
Racist. But anyway, what was I getting into? I've lost my entire train of thought now.
You were getting back on the show.
I was, but I was going to say something in particular. Oh, my thoughts.
Lies.
Yes, I know Slick Rick as well, and it's right there on the screen, Justin. But you put it up there. I wasn't going to take it and have Travis be like, "You didn't know who that was." It's just there on the screen. Like, I know him. Like, I'm not falling into these traps.
Then you would have said 3.
The show,
Yeah.
Dragons.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Dragon Dick.
I win. So I enjoyed the fuck out of this episode because, like I said, after last week of being like, they came back and they were thrones in. Like, yes, I said speaking of lying because that's what happens all throughout this damn show. But
Lies and upholding lies.
lies on lies on lies. But we had but yeah, I was very pleased with this show. Spoiler alert for my ratings. It's gonna get my first 5 out of 5 dragons on this episode because yeah. But let's get into the plot, shall we?
Let's.
The plots.
So this one kicks off at Lena's funeral. And they're kind of just setting the tone here, letting us know where everything lies using this funeral, which I thought was very well done. We see, how they do funerals with the Valerians. We see Otto's back; he's the hand again. Um, just a general setting of the chessboard again, just so we did, in case we didn't know how things were sitting, we know now.
He had to wait for him to wear down just a little bit to get back in there.
Well, I mean, Strong died, and he was just like, "Well, what you gonna do now?" And of course, I'm sure Allison was just like, "Hey, you should bring back my pops." Like,
I would be so much happier if my father was
yeah,
still
yeah.
within the city.
Let's just, bring old man, old man Otto back up in here.
Are you going to talk about Strong again at all? Do you think?
Which one?
Probably when I talk about
Okay.
Jace being upset because they're
I'll let you keep going then, because I don't want to aside right after we just got back from the side.
So then everybody, Otto's hand again. They're just, the Sea Snake's brother. I don't know his name, but he's going on and on. He's always talking about family and blood and all that kind of stuff the whole time, basically trying to figure out. No, his brother.
Oh,
Corliss is
Corey.
Yeah, Corliss is the Sea Snake. I'm talking about his brother. His brother was doing the whole thing at the funeral, the eulogy and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, he's doing all that, and then throughout the whole time, as we got right here, yeah, Day sitting there, he just starts laughing because that's Day.
That's a black mom comment.
So then we got, after that's done, they drop the body into the ocean because that's what the Valerians do. They drop their kids they dead into the water, just like the Targaryens burn there. So it's just, they're of the sea, Targaryens are of fire. This comes back later, by the way. But then we got
half and half. How do you decide which one you do? Well, I guess you got burned first, so I guess it was kind of fitting.
Yeah, they did both.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the rest of the kids and the family, I don't know. I think
we'll cross that bridge.
I think with Day-Day's kids, not to be confused with Bebe's kids, but Day-Day's kids, they're more Targaryen than they are Valerian, so they probably will burn them.
Okay.
Because they're like,
So it all depends on the 23andMe.
That's how I would do it.
Okay.
So then we got Jace. He's, talking to his mama, and she's like, "Yo, go talk to your cousins over there. They need consoling. They're sad. Their mama just died." And he was like, "Well, I'm sad too. Like, we should be, at going up to Harrenhal for the Strong funeral. I want to go up there." And she was like, "We can't do that shit. Like,
I
what
want
the
to
fuck?"
mourn my daddy.
Basically, and he's just like, we can't do that.
I just love
Little sea salt.
I just love that she is like, he ain't your daddy. Like, yeah, he gave birth to you, but that ain't your dad. You're a Targaryen. You're not a Strong. And so Kate has been going back and watching Game of Thrones and brought something up to me that I didn't realize. So the dude that Joffrey made the fool at his wedding and was embarrassing and all that stuff that night that fucked up, and he was a Strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that, because most of these houses I just assume are pretty much dead at this point, because none of these names I really recognize, because I'm not hearing Stark or Karstark or anything.
Most of them kind of fall off after the Targaryens are gone, because a lot of them sided with the Targaryens, so the ones that did, they kind of just, Robert wasn't having it. So then we got Aegon. He's just being a dick about his sister because she just ain't into the stuff he's into. She's looking at the spiders and shit and saying like weird cryptic poems and shit. And it's just like
his sister wife.
Why you say that?
Because they were
It's his-
talking about how he has to marry his sister, and he's like, "Why don't you marry her? I don't want to marry her."
That's not what he said. They said he'll be your queen one day. I thought that was because she was supposed to marry the kid over
They
on
were
the other
talking.
side.
Nope, they were talking about how they got to keep the
No,
bloodline strong, and Aegon was not happy that he's got to fuck his sister because she's weird.
and Aemon was like, I would gladly do it.
Yeah, Aemon's like, I'd do it.
You're right. I'm remembering it now. Yeah, y'all are right. My bad.
Sister wife.
This was the episode that we realized that Aemon about that fucking life. It's crazy.
I just like Aegon's like, well, at least we have one thing in common. We both like things with long legs. And then like follows a servant girl.
Yeah. Oh boy. So then we got Jace. He's not Jace, it was Luke, wasn't it? That went over to them? To his cousins, or did Jace go over there?
I can't tell those two apart. One's shorter.
Jace is the older one. So was it Luke or was it Jace? I don't remember. Or did Jace actually follow after the one with the long legs?
Jace was the one who went over and held their hand.
Okay, so it was Jace. That's what I had in my notes here. But I started
Luke,
thinking like
they didn't really start saying Luke's name until like Super Smash Brothers happened.
Yeah. So then we got Laenor being super sad, just out in the water, just like
Taking a piss.
As Matt said, Matt believes he was taking a piss, but
I thought he was out there contemplating drowning himself.
I think he was just. I just thought he was just sitting out there being sad because it's just like we're of the sea, and I'm gonna be out here and be sad in the sea with my sister. But
That too. I mean, I'd be looking for different ways to end it all the time. So I just assumed
Wow.
he was.
Okay.
I'm very fight or flight in this life. So
so anyway, then we got Viserys goes over to Data, and he's just like, "Yo, just come back to King's Landing, all right? Like, we've had enough of this. Like, I'm over it. Just bring your ass back." But he's like, "No, I'm staying in Pentos. Fuck you. Fuck this." Soon after this, we got Corlys and Rhaenys just sitting around the fire having a little talk, but not so little talk because she upset because she was just like, it was Day-Day's fault and he should have done blah blah blah. And they were like, he had her over in Pentos where she should have been here, and yada yada yada. And
I want to understand
You should have
how
been queen.
how she hasn't aged in this show at all. In fact, this episode, I swore she looked younger than the first episode.
We're getting another fucking time jump.
next
We are,
episode,
and
yeah.
she still looks the same.
Mm.
Even Corlys aged. I was just like, why is this white bitch staying so young forever?
Yeah. So they're going back and forth, and she's saying, he's like, yo, you're looking for blame right now. Is like, yo, the surgeons over in Pentos are just as good as the Maesters here. Like, if she was gonna go, she was gonna go. That's just kind of how it is. And they
I
have
hope
a
my
whole.
dad never talks about me like that. I hope my dad is fucking furious. I will haunt him.
So we've gone from Mara saying she's constantly looking for a way out to like, when I find it, my dad better be very upset. No one didn't do anything about it.
Yes.
He needs to be pissed I succeeded.
Oh man. So anyway, he did. Corlys does drop a line here that I was just like, oh yeah, you're right. He's like, history does not remember blood; it remembers names. And he's right. Like, if you really think back on it, like, we know historical figures. We know George Washington. We know Martin Luther King. Can you tell me what their father's name is?
Or their kids, for that matter.
Well, Martin Luther King's father would be Martin Luther King because he was junior.
If
So,
he was named after his father, he might have been named after his grandfather.
are you still a junior then?
I don't know, but see, you questioned
I'm
it though,
pretty
so
sure
you
that's
don't
not how that
know.
works.
You're
No, I'm
pretty
pretty sure that's
sure,
not how that
but
works.
you're not positive. You thought about it though, because you don't know anything about his father. That's my point.
Yeah, that his dad's name was Martin Luther King.
You know the crazy part? We can just Google it. Google is free.
You could, but you don't remember that. That's my point. Like,
This is true.
you would have to look that up.
I really thought Travis was trying to set us up with that one. I'm like, I'm not falling for it. It's Junior. Like, he's Junior.
Martin Luther King Sr.
Again, you didn't just remember that. You had to look. Y'all had to look that up though. Like, sure you do. Sure,
Amani's Pepperidge Farms over here.
Sure, she does. So then we got a little later on the night. Ray goes out for a walk with Day Day. They just walking and talking, and she's also pissed. She's just like, "Yo, you abandoned me. Like, you just left me hanging here with all of this shit to deal with. What the fuck?" One thing leads to another, and then they're coupling.
I like how she said, "My life is like this because you left me."
And she's technically not wrong, but because honestly, if you really think about it, had he stayed, her kids would have had silver hair.
Touche.
Travis, I've decided that this is going to be my hot D moment because this leads to a lot of things later. Like, first off, as I said earlier, the dick of the dragon put her to sleep. Like, she woke up on a beach, didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like, dude did his thing. Granted, it was with his niece, but he did his thing. Also convinced her to leave her husband, which again we'll talk about later, because it was so good. I wanted it to be Eamon, but when I saw the time jump, I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm not even doing that. I'm not getting attached to a character that they're going to recast in the next fucking episode. So, because this dance of the dragons that happened in an abandoned ship during an eclipse led to all of the events that we are about to talk about, and he put her to sleep first try. Hot D moment of the week is Targaryen incest in the bones of an old ship.
Okay. Got you. Let's see. So while they're coupling, Eamon goes and he's just out in the middle of the night. And valid question was brought up after this, like, how the fuck did he get out? He was able to be all out and about like this.
Clearly, as we've been learning, the security don't be watching them good enough. No matter where they are.
So yeah, he goes and finds Vega. And like Vagar was about to toast his ass. Because he's just like, because you saw he was peacefully minding his dragon ass business. Like, just laying there, like, I'm sad because I just had to torch my homie. And why are you bothering me? Until, he just like says the Targaryen shit. And he's like, all right, fine, get on. You better hold on though. And takes off. The kid almost dies. And I was just like, if you fall off this dragon right now, like,
look, I was like, what is happening? Why are you doing this?
Like, this would be one hell of a way to go, sir.
So my understanding of claiming a dragon that belonged to somebody else is like, I guess mind you, by the way, poor Lena hasn't even settled at the bottom of the ocean, and Rhaenyra's fucking her husband, and Aemon's taking her dragon. Like, Cass has not even settled at the bottom of the ocean, and she's just losing all her shit. Husband, dragon, all that. But
I have a seat for it.
Exactly. Lena's coffin is barely at the bottom of the ocean, and Damon's already fucking his knees. That's what I'm saying. And hashtag hot D, because that was my hot D.
Earlier when when I was cracking up behind backstage and I had to mute myself. This was the tweet I was looking at that had me in tears because Cat Williams' face was like, what the fuck?
And I'm not 100% sure which stand-up that's from, but
I don't know, but I might go look for it because
I
Cat
want to
Williams
say Pimp
cracks me the
Chronicles,
fuck
the
up.
first one.
No, Pimp Chronicles, he had on a green jacket.
Yeah, but didn't he take it off at some point?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because he also didn't have a tie on. I don't think.
Fair enough. It reminded me of the whole poor little Tink Tink thing, but that's neither here nor there. So
That's Joe Coy.
claiming a dragon is like having sex with a
That
woman for the
wasn't
first
Pimp
time.
Chronicles.
Yeah, no, and I'm also thinking of the wrong Ting Ting.
The face reminded me of that. He was in all black for that. Anyway,
Mhm.
claiming a dragon is like having sex with a woman for the first time. You ride it, hold on for dear life, and if she doesn't throw you off, you may have a chance at making this a thing.
Say that one more time.
Claiming a dragon is like having sex with a woman for the first time. You ride it and hope she doesn't throw you off, and if you can stay on till the end, you might have a chance of making this a thing.
Okay. We'll go with that. Sure.
Is this like is him stealing the dragon? Is that like the equivalent of Grand Theft Auto in their time?
Grand Theft Drago.
Yeah.
The one Lena's little girl who did not get her own dragon, who's been trying to hatch a dragon egg for like 8 years now, thought so.
Yeah, she was pissed. And we'll get to that in just a second. Because he comes back after riding the dragon, and now he's just like full flip. You are complete dick now. Like, what the hell just happened to you? You ride one dragon. But he walks in, they're like, that was my mother's dragon. Like, well, Rhaegar has a new rider now. It's like, that was meant for me. He was like, well, why didn't you claim it? Blah, 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 blah. And there was a whole back and forth. And yeah, he calls, Ray Ray's kids bastards. Fights ensue. And yeah, there was a whole lot happening there. But in the midst of it, Luke gets a knife, throws some sand in his face, and slices his eye. And now, Aemon ain't got no eye.
Oh no, he has an eye.
Okay, he ain't got no left eye.
That is right.
Yes, I know. Sliced right across the left eye.
Including you, now there's 4.
What?
Huh?
Never mind. Continue.
How is there 4 now?
Well, I thought of another black person with left eye Lopez. She had the eye patch.
She had 2 eyes, though.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty positive.
I'm very positive
Because
because
I never
another
saw without an
moment.
eye patch.
Well, then you weren't paying attention because another time she just had a little black line under the left eye.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's just
you're right.
she's done
No, you're
different
right.
things, and we said bald
Yeah.
black man with one eye.
Yeah.
She's called left eye because I think something was literally up with her left eye, but it was there.
Yeah, she had one.
No, yeah, you're right. I remember now. Okay, we're back to 3.
But yeah, gets his eye sliced. So yeah, they come back, and you can just tell the king is like, "Yo, what the fuck? I'm done with this shit." Like, all this fighting within the family. Like, I was just trying to go to sleep. Y'all know I'm dying. Why y'all got me out here in the middle of the night, knowing like my left toe is gonna fall off at any moment now? Like, I'm gonna lose my left pinky toe if I stand on it too long.
He looked fine earlier in the day, but like it come the evening, it looked like when you take everything off.
Yeah, he was done. Like, he'd been holding it together all day.
He was like, my nose been trying to fall off all fucking afternoon,
For
and
real.
I've been holding
And
on
here
to
y'all
it.
come with this bullshit. Like, God.
I told Mara, I tweeted out, you've seen Scrooge, right, Travis? Because she hasn't.
The Muppet movie?
No, Scrooge with Bill Murray
No.
in the 80s. Oh, God damn it. Never mind. Continue.
Sorry, Matt. That's one of them white people movies.
Not it.
You okay over there?
I was trying to come out of Matt's frustration, then I look down and I see he looks like death warmed up. Because he does.
Yeah.
He looks like that the leftovers you brought home like a week ago that you're trying to reheat and you've overcooked it in the microwave.
I do want to rewind while Mara's laughing for a second, because there was a lot that happened in that fight that you
Yes.
kind of glazed over. Like, he straight up sat up like Cain and grabbed Luke by the throat.
Yo,
Jace is the one that threw dirt in his eye and had the knife, and then Luke picked it up and cut him in the face. Like,
Right.
they gangbanged him, came in and just started whooping his ass on the ground because he punched every one of those little kids in the face. It's like, you know that thing, how many fifth graders do you think you could beat up? Yeah, that's what he said, all of them, and just punched everyone in the face. Like, he gave no fucks. He's like, maybe you can get yourself a pig to ride, all that shit. And then sat up like Cain and just grabbed dude by the throat out of nowhere. And that was almost my hot D moment of the week.
The fight was my hot D moment of the week. And this tweet here was me when Bela, Reyna, Jace, and Luke versus Aemond are fighting, and then it's Bow Wow, more violence. I was like laying down in my blanket watching the episode, and then like when the fight went, like when he took the dragon out, I was like, this stupid motherfucker. And then he came back talking all that hot shit, and I was just like, oh. And then they started fighting. I started sitting up like that clip that's going around of Leonardo DiCaprio from that one movie where he like stops and he starts snapping and pointing.
And pointing.
Like, I was like, but like, yes, I loved every moment of this, because not only was it like kids fucking fighting, it was kids fucking fighting brutally. Like, nothing was held back. I actually thought one of them kids was gonna die.
Best fighting we saw all season.
Facts. Like, and like this tweet here.
This tweet right here, nigga.
Where it says Aemond deserved to get jumped. This was very satisfying. Yes, it was.
But that was the thing. Like, before this episode, he wasn't like this. Like, before he rode that dragon, he was a completely different person.
He said, I touched a titty, so you can't tell me shit.
Basically.
I was going to say, that's that big dragon dick energy, Travis. And he's got the biggest dragon dick there is out there. Like, there isn't a bigger dragon dick.
He does. Like, tell me you didn't feel like you wanted to jump into that shit and get a few licks in yourself.
Oh, man. And also, remember, everybody, if you're watching this, you want us to show your tweet here on the show, just, use hashtag them dragons and tag us at It's Creation World, and we'll see it so we can throw it up here and talk about it.
The one we got up says, damn, that kindergarten fight had me wanting to jump in too.
Oh, man.
the whole family jumping Aemond out here recording. All we needed was someone with a scribe going, world star if.
Oh, man. But yeah, back to the room though, and Viserys is just over this shit. Basically tells them, like, look, man, we are gonna be a family, and y'all are gonna love each other, and I'm going to bed, and y'all are going to bed too. Like, fuck this.
We are going to bed. I am tired.
While his son is getting his eye stitched shut.
Yeah.
That was
Allison is completely losing her shit because her son just lost an eye. The other parents all show up late to the party, like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what happened? Why is my child beat up? Like, don't even give a fuck that dude's missing an eye and bleeding in the corner.
No, she don't give a fuck. She's like, yo, what happened to my kid? And they're like, this blah blah blah. There's a whole back and forth, and then when they all erupted and arguing, I went straight to South Park in my head when they're like, rabble, 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 rabble.
But when Jace looked at his mom and said he called us bastards, I was like, well, one of two things is going to happen. Either the king is going to have to admit that those kids are bastards, or he is going to have to double down on this stop spreading rumors shit. And he doubled the fuck down. He doubled down.
That's what I expected him to do, because he would just, when that happened, I'm like, he's the starter, like, all right, who told you this?
When he saw the kids, he was just like, ain't no way I'm about to admit now that I knew about this shit, and this bitch is still gonna be my heir.
But yeah, he's just looking at him like, tell me where you heard this from. And he was like, Aegon like, nigga, what?
He looked at mom first, though.
He looked at his mother for a long time. Like, he was looking at her, because I think that's where he really heard it from. He may have heard Aegon say something about it later, but he originally heard it from his mother.
Oh, this was them. Them looking at each other just like dead, like, oh, don't say anything. Viserys, Aemond, look at me. Your king demands an answer. Who spoke these lies? Alicent and Aemond looking at each other all nervous.
Oh man, because they but yeah, and he goes to Aegon, he's like, Aegon, who told you this shit?
Where'd you hear these rumors? Aegon, not father.
Because he definitely had to look like, wait, you like you little snitch. Like, what the fuck?
No, shout out to Aegon though, because he's like, we can all see it, Dad. Like, everybody fucking knows.
Yeah, it's one of those things. He, at that point, because that's the thing, he could have snitched and said, my mama told me, but he was like, no, I ain't gonna do that. Listen, look at them kids. We all know that those are not Lena's kids.
Yeah, like, I started cackling when it went silent for a minute and it started flashing at everyone's face, and they were all looking like
oh shit.
Like, they all holding in laughter, like the epitome of a moment to be serious in, like, don't laugh. It was that. Like, where I'm in a serious situation trying not to crack a smile, it was that.
Yeah, they looking at each other just like, is anybody gonna say no, we ain't gonna say shit. Okay. Nope.
Well, except for Allison, because at that point someone's like, where is Laenor anyway? And she's like, probably fucking his boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right? Laenor was no help. Every time something happened, this man is nowhere to be found. I was like, make it more obvious that this is not real.
Yeah.
If you can find Carl, you can find him.
Look, he needs his hot Carl. All right. Think he ever gave him a hot Carl?
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah,
probably in the sea, so it just washed right off.
Right.
I'm not gonna ask.
Oh, you don't know what a hot Carl is?
Nope. I don't think I want to find out.
You sure?
Yeah.
You might want a hot Carl one day.
I don't know. Hot and Carl don't always sound like they belong in the same sentence.
This is the second time I believe Travis and I have talked about a hot Carl on a podcast.
When was the first time?
I don't know, but I do know that I have a clip up on TikTok where I'm talking about a hot Carl with somebody, and someone replied whose name was Carl and said, I'm a hot Carl. So I know it exists, and I think it was with you. We've talked about a lot of fucked up shit.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that we've talked about a hot Carl before. It's just,
Why is this a thing?
Did you look up a hot Carl?
You know I was going to.
Like I said, just washes off in the sea. It's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hot Carl with a Q.
Special kind of hot, Carl.
Okay, but I'm also seeing like different things. Oh no, never mind.
No, it's all the same thing. It's just
It was the wording was different.
Yeah.
This will get you stabbed by me.
I mean, it takes a lot to be able to get into that position. You would have to be willing at that point. So it's just
this
you
is
can't
saying
really do that by surprise.
This is saying on someone who is asleep, and that's what I mean by this will get you stabbed.
I don't think you necessarily have to be asleep.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be asleep.
I've never heard that.
It's just,
Okay, I'm just going by what I'm seeing.
So what you're saying is, if you were to receive a hot Carl, you'd take somebody's eye?
Yes. Might take both of them.
Oh.
And then put them in the feces, and now you have a little brown eye.
Well, since we're on these subjects, you think Carl ever gave Lana a Blumpkin?
I hate that you did that, Travis, because now I'm thinking about Tyrion Lannister sitting on the shitter getting shot by, or Tywin Lannister sitting on the shitter getting shot by Tyrion. So I'm trying to think, like, was there enough room in there for two people for a Blumpkin?
For a Blumpkin. I mean, if you leave the door open.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think Mara has to look up what a Blumpkin is now.
I did. That's why I'm making the face I'm making.
It has nothing to do with a pumpkin, I'll tell you that.
I know that much.
At all.
And then immediately after this, Allison's like, no, fuck this shit. This is not done. You took my son's eye. Give me one of her kids' eyes.
Bitch, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm watching, it was the same thing. Like, wait, what? Are you fucking crazy?
Yo, Viserys.
Yes, she is fucking crazy.
Viserys was like, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I could see it in his face, and he was like, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I'm not. You're not going to talk me into taking.
Yeah, we're not taking one of these kids' eyes right now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then she turns like, Sir Kristen, take that kid's eye. He can keep him. Like, and Kristen's like, I ain't doing that shit. Like you're sworn to me, like, yeah, to protect you. I'm not taking the kid's eye. Like,
and probably only because it was a kid. Like, I feel like that's where the line is drawn.
Yeah.
Like, if it was Rhaenyra, he'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take her eye. But like,
he's not gonna do that to Rhaenyra either, though. Because they would definitely kill him if he tried to do that shit. Because he wouldn't have done that either. Now, if it was somebody else in the court that wasn't like a Targaryen or some shit, he would have probably done it. But yeah, I think the main thing was, though, he's not taking the kid's eye. And she gets upset. So she decides, well, I'm gonna do it, and takes the fucking knife and goes to charge at the kids. And Ray steps in like, nah, bitch. And they going back and forth and going at it. And it's funny watching Day watching this and just kind of being like, yeah, she got it. Like,
oh, because he's sitting there because there's messiness unfolding, and none of it is his fault. David watching the messiness unfold while not being the cause of it for once. This is like my favorite photo of this person. I think that's Little Uzi. But because like people kept right. So people kept posting this video or this photo and kept putting Sim plumb bobs.
I think I have seen that. I think I've seen that one.
And I was just like, this is painfully the most Sim thing I've ever seen in my life.
And not only was Daemon like chilling, watching all this unfold, he was not going to let anyone fuck it up because Kristen stepped up to go do his job. He's like, all right, I am a protector. Daemon stepped in, he's like, nah.
No, we're gonna let this happen. And the other guard grabbed Christian and held him back too. Like, no, you gonna stay out of this shit. We will not be the ones.
I definitely thought when he stopped him, I had heard like a stabbing sound, and I was like, did one of these people just get stabbed? So much is happening right now.
Yeah, it was just a whole lot of scraping of armor and all that kind of stuff because like they grabbed him and all that kind of stuff. So
makes sense.
But yeah, and they're kind of at a standstill, Rhaenyra, she holding the knife back and they going back and forth. She was like, yeah, basically told her like, yeah, they see how fucking crazy you are. They see what you about. So I'm good. And she gets cut. And she like basically looked at it and looked at her like, thank you.
Yo, I was looking at the TV and I was like, I would have made it even more dramatic. I would have fell. I would have passed out. I'd be like,
fell
oh,
down
dear God.
and howled in pain and then passed out. Exactly.
I would have made it. I would have been so extra with it.
I have expected that to be the end of Rhaenyra because, like, that's how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to go across; you're supposed to go down. So I thought, like, maybe by accident she just murdered Rhaenyra in front of everybody.
Well, nah, it's one of those things. Like I knew that just because of how the books work, but it's
I don't read, Travis.
I know, illiterate fuck. Let's see.
But here, this was a good point. Maybe it's just me, but isn't assaulting the heir to the throne literal treason? Why does Alicent still have her head?
Because of how she gives it.
I'm about to say because I was gonna say because she sucks the right dick, but it's
you got to keep your head to give it.
Yeah,
just saying.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I will say, like Alicent, it's funny watching her, like it's funny watching her sanity go.
Her descent into madness, yeah. Because it's been gradually happening over the last few episodes. She's like this whole lot of wait, what the fuck? She just keeps what the fuck? And I still got like she is frustrated all hell, and then she finally loses it.
Did you peep what happened earlier during the funeral where he fucking called her Emma?
Mm-mm.
There is like a bunch of screen grabs going around where he said, "I'm going to bed, Emma," and everyone heard him say that.
Wow.
So like someone had said, if I was innocent, Alicent, I would have killed myself. Because her face says it all.
Like, why would you call me by your dead wife's name? Like, whew.
That man, I said it. He needs to go. He is essentially the Crypt Keeper at this point. He's clearly got dementia. He's got possibly cured grayscale. Like, you can't blame him for mixing up his last wife with his current wife. I don't care how many years it's been.
No, it's just funny. Because that shit had her sick. She was sick to her stomach. Like, even this one, where it was like, I'm going to bed, Emma. Everyone at the funeral just looking up like... Sad day for Alicent.
Yeah. So after all that's over with, Alicent's, just brooding because, she's like, oh shit, I fucked up. But it comes Otto, and he's just like, yeah, you kind of went crazy, but that was kind of dope. It's just like one thing like I've never seen that from you before. Now I know you trying to fight with me. Like
he's like, I've never seen you have this kind of spunk in you.
Yeah, exactly.
My other contender for my hot demon moment of the week that got beat out because of the whole time jump thing and just me being petty about it was Aemon walking up at the very end of that scene before we got to this and being like, Ma, it's cool. I lost an eye, but I got a fucking dragon. Like,
that was
a fair trade.
Shit. Yeah.
I tweeted about that and I was like, mic drop.
I mean, it's true. And Otto agreed with him. Like, yeah, he was right. What he paid was, worth what he did 1,000 times over. Like, we got the dragon in exchange for it. The biggest, strongest dragon. Yeah. We won this one.
How do dragons? People were calling Vhagar fake for just switching over like that. But I was wondering, how do dragons just like know where they're going next? Like they're like, how do they know like homies like leaving?
I did a terrible job explaining it earlier. I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
We're not going there again, Matt. No.
That's why I said I'm not doing it again.
Basically, they, once they kind of bond to you, they make the choice to bond to you or not. It's not like, you can't force them to do it. So Vhagar had to, just be like, all right, when the kid put his hand up and started talking to it in Valerian. He could have still just toasted his ass because Like, I ain't gotta fuck with you, and you can, and even if I do burn your ass up, who gonna check me?
Touche. So it's nothing like how Rick bonded with Morty's dragon.
No, it's not like that.
Okay, that's more interesting.
Yeah. Rick and Morty is not the authority on these things, unfortunately. No.
Don't do that, Matt. We have incest in this show. What am I to say that they can't fuck soul bond dragons in this too?
I'm not even doing that. I'm just praying to God Travis didn't have to go look up the episode of Rick and Morty where the dragon soul bond fucking happened.
No. I know what that is. I'm
Okay.
very familiar with Rick and Morty.
If you don't know that episode, then you are missing out.
Yeah,
it is definitely.
First of all, I love Rick and Morty. Second of all, I love dragons. You think I don't know that episode?
Kind of like I know the Scary Terry episode. I got you.
Yeah. That is also in the top 5.
Yeah. So then I guess it's the next morning. She's getting sewn up, and Leonard finally comes back. He talking about, is everything all right? He was like, nigga, what?
Like, where the fuck have you been?
Like, you realize like the world ended last night and you weren't even here. Like, what the fuck? Everything exploded.
Fighting for our lives by myself.
Just me, by myself.
And now he wants to be a daddy.
Talking about he want to go night night, nigga. Ain't nobody wanted to go night night, and it was
Papa Viserys so tired.
He was, man. Exactly. Read the room, bruh. Like, but then, like, he finally, like, you know what? You right. I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna be the husband you need me to be. I'm gonna be the father to them kids you need me to be. We gonna do it all right now.
I'm like, thanks. It only took you 12 years to do it.
You could tell by the look on her face at the end of the scene. She was like, nope, I already got other plans.
Yeah.
She walked out of the room like, so fuck that.
Yeah.
Dragon dick changes everything, I'm telling you.
So, I mean, Laris Strong was like, you want to take a kid's eye? I'll take a kid's eye. Like, what the fuck?
It's crazy. I'm gonna put this one back up here again because that's another read the room. Like, the fuck?
Well, so mind you, after talking to her dad, who is the new hand, he's like, hey, everything's gonna be cool. Just go apologize to the king, this and that. So she tried. Like, she went to Viserys and she's like, hey, listen, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't want to fucking talk about this shit anymore. I want to take a nap. Like,
he's over it.
We're done. So she's out there just like looking into the ocean, thinking about shit. And Laris is like, hey, so like, I'm sworn to you. If you need me to take a child's eye, I got no problem with that. We're good. Cripple strong. Yes. Cripple strong.
I will say, I'm happy that, like, even though it's fuck you, Allison, every week, it's like, it's more like this, like, you raggedy bitch, but like, meets Allison every second of every episode.
Yeah.
You raggedy bitch. I'm happy that she's being cognizant.
Question. Matt, do you know where this is from?
What?
The picture in this tweet.
No, I do not. I've seen it a million times, but the actual source material, I am
Have
not.
you, Mara?
I feel like I've seen these emojis together, but I don't.
No, he's talking about the picture in the tweet.
The picture in the tweet. Do you know where that's from?
Oh, no.
Well, you're a child, so that's fine. And Matt's white, so I get that too. It's from a movie called Waiting to Exhale.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I
mean, I know the movie Waiting to Exhale, but
yeah, that was the scene
I know of
where he was getting told to be gone because he ain't shit, and he looked up at he was drunk as shit, and he's looking up at it. He's like, "You raggedy bitch."
That's crazy. I would have never imagined it was from that movie. I was thinking more like medieval times because of this fucking vest he got on.
Yeah, it was from he has an orange in his hand. Like she said, he was about to throw an orange up at the balcony where she was. Yeah.
There's only so far in black cinema I've been able to get. Like Juice, Don't Be a Menace, uh Romeo Must Die. Absolutely. Waiting to
So it's
Exhale.
limited to Black Hood movies. I got you. Got you.
Fair enough.
Got you. Got you.
That's racist.
Yeah, he was drunk and musty and leather at a barbecue. Yeah.
Oh boy. But I was saying that like I'm happy that Allison is being aware of like
Wait,
okay,
sorry. I just remember that is one of the lines he said because he was drunk and she's like, "You want to go to a barbecue?" I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
that she's being aware of the fact that Laris or Cripple Strong is like he's very useful to have around, but like it's also that could also be like very dangerous. So she's also very precautious of how useful he is.
Yeah, useful, but like you can be useful and stand over there because when you stand too close, you make me nervous.
Right?
It's just
Can we just call him Larry Strong? Because I really feel bad about making Cripple Strong a thing.
I'm cool with that.
Like,
I'd feel worse about it if he wasn't so shitty.
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's true. Also, like, I really did not want Allison to be the Cersei of this show. Like, I liked Olivia Cook. I was hoping that it was going to be the other way around, and it was going to be Rhaenyra that was the Cersei. And I'm just sad because I want to like her, and no, can't do it.
Yeah. So Ray and Day started talking, and Ray like, "Yo, I'm gonna just marry you because." That's how we do things. As Matt said last week, their answer to everything is incest. Um, so yeah, the first incest didn't work out. So like we need stronger incest. This the incest we were doing was not incestuous enough. So I need deeper incest. Like my cousin, once removed, twice removed, whatever the fuck that was, not incestuous enough. I need my uncle.
No, you need full blood incest, not half blood incest.
Yeah.
Like it's diluted by the Valerian. Like,
yeah.
I need full Targaryen dragon dick, and she got it, and that's what led to this, Travis. This is why it was my hot D moment of the week, because he fucked her once, and all of a sudden now she said, "Fuck it." Like they fucked. She woke up and she's like, "I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna fake my husband's death." Like they concocted a whole plan. One time, and she's been waiting at least 10 years for it because he teased her in that fucking sex dungeon in the whorehouse and never gave it to her and made her wait 10 years and then delivered.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she goes on this whole thing about here we are of fire, and the Valerians are of water, and yeah, so we got to do fire shit because that wasn't enough fire. But he was like, in order to do that,
You're talking
Lena has to die.
semantics.
Yeah, Lena has to die. And she's like, "Oh, I know."
When she said that, I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna fucking kill him!" And
and they led us to think that was gonna happen that whole time because he went up to like he hired Hot Carl to kill Lena. He's like, "I need it to be public," and I was like, "Okay." And then they married, but then they do it in the whole old school Targaryen way with the blood and all that kind of stuff. But then we find out he didn't actually kill him. He just shaved his head and took off. And that was my hot D moment of the week. And let me tell you why that was my hot D moment of the week. Because in the books, because of the way that book is written, Fire and Blood, it's basically just a historical account. It's not like a full-on story kind of thing. And it's even said it in the beginning, like, these are written by historians and men and all that kind of stuff by the Targaryens. So it's very likely this information is in a lot of places inaccurate, and in some places that full out lies. In the books, it says that Carl killed Laenor and then fled because that's what they all think happened.
But did you think when you were watching that whole thing before the reveal, before he was out on the boat and shit with the shaved head, did you think that was actually Laenor in the fire?
Yes, because
For a
from the
second, yeah.
books, it was led. I was led from the books to know he died then. So it's just like it may have been poorly done, but to me, it was like, well, I already know from the books this is how he died. So there's no reason for me to believe that would be him.
Oh no, see, I knew right away because Damon killed that dude on the stairwell for a reason, and they never referenced it back, and that's who they threw in the fire. Was the dude that he broke the neck of on, yeah.
Oh,
We know that now,
okay.
but like I said,
But I knew it at, like Kate said, why did Damon kill that guy? I'm like, oh, you'll see. And then
Okay,
they
yeah,
did the whole staged fighting thing, and then they found the burned body, and I'm like, that's the dude that he killed. And she's like, oh,
because
I'm
I
like,
was
yeah,
definitely watching that too, and I was just like, why the fuck? I was like, why did you kill that guy?
that's why they needed a body.
yeah. But like I said,
By the time
To
it got
me-
to that though, I forgot all about that dude. Though.
it wasn't even that for me. Like I said, it was because in the books they said this was how Laenor died. So
See what happens when you read Travis?
yeah, you get great surprises like this in a hot D moment. Yeah.
And this was all of us. Us. Well, looks like another gay character is dead. George R.R. Martin. Not today.
With the nails.
With the nails and the hoops.
I also like how Damon went up to him and he's like, you know, there are places across the sea where if you got enough gold, people don't give a fuck what your name is. Oh yeah, what do you need? Quick death.
Public.
Yep. With witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just
Wow.
supported basically the honeymoon for those two. They're like, all right, here's your money. Hop in a boat.
Go off, be happy.
But no, never mind. No, that wouldn't be a thing.
Well, when they
I was gonna say-
revealed that Laenor was okay, it was like Laenor got out of that marriage and can now leave and be his own person. They really had me crying. Oh Lord.
What were you about to say, Matt?
Part of me thought that maybe like the Valerian line continued across the season. Then I remembered that that's not how reproduction works.
No, it doesn't.
It died with Laenor.
Yeah,
so,
they were.
No.
He was putting no penises in vaginas out there.
Yeah.
There was
I
none of
mean,
that happening.
He did do it over here. Like he tried. They said, I tried.
Yeah, he tried.
They did lay together, and they said multiple times.
Yeah, but he only did that because it was like a duty thing. He ain't got that duty no more. He ain't doing that.
Yeah.
He's just like, don't bring another vagine near me.
But yeah, like I said, hell of an episode. Hell of an episode.
Some would say, I was gonna say, some would say Damon is not the stepfather. He's the father that stepped up.
Oh man.
Now you got this you got this cute little family. It's, you know, her bastard children with the Strongs, and then, you know, his widowed half black children from the Valerians, and they're all one big weird third wife's niece and uncle step family.
They went from cousins to like step siblings.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure at some point Rhaenyra is gonna pop her pussy one more time out another child, so then they'll have
That
like
has silver hair.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I just
has
feel
white
bad
hair.
for I be feeling bad for Luke and Jace just because like no matter what, they're just going to be left out. They're gonna feel left out no matter what because of just their hair.
Yeah, I mean, but there was hand holding already. You know, maybe if they get lucky, they can do some, you know, hot step sibling porn later, you know.
And that wedding kiss was a very loving kiss. Like there's it's weird. This whole uncle niece. They are really into this whole thing. It's
Targaryen.
It's
what
dirty.
it is. It is. Targaryens are dirty. Like, I don't know.
So those kids, the half strongs, their great uncle is also their father now.
Yes.
Stepfather.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I guess, Rhaenyra then would have been cousins with
Day-Day's kids.
Lena's kids, and now she's their mom.
Her
Yeah.
stepmother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird times we live. The Shady Bunch.
They putting it all together, and we gonna get that song "I'm My Own Grandpa" eventually. It'll
Oh,
it'll be a thing.
Travis, this is the first time you could actually have sang Uncle Fucker and it would have been a factual thing.
You're right. You're right.
Like she fucked her uncle. Did the song go through your head this episode?
It didn't because I like she didn't wasn't in like it wasn't in a moment like where she was trying to argue with somebody and I wanted them to say "shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker," you know. So it was just
Maybe you can take the wedding scene and then just get rid of the audio and put the song over the wedding scene. Drop that on YouTube.
maybe.
I'm over here trying to look up the family tree. I'm trying to understand this shit.
Good luck. Their family tree is a circle. But yeah, that was it for the episode. I already told y'all at the beginning what my rating was. This one gets 5 dragons out of me. What about y'all?
I'll give this one 5.
Yeah, I think it's a an incestuous 5 dragons.
All right. Well, this agreed by all 3 of us. This is a 5 dragon episode of Hot D. All right. Cool. And those of you watching, even if you're not watching us live, you're watching later, drop in the comments how many dragons out of 5 do you give this episode? We'd like to know. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this week's episode of Hashtag Them Dragons. Damn, we have been going for a while, longer than normal.
This is a good episode.
Yeah, it was. And we also went off on a really long tangent early on. But and then also got thrown off because you didn't know what a hot Carl was, and then you didn't know what a Blumpkin was, and yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's it for this week's episode of Hashtag Them Dragons. Don't forget you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at It's Creation World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. As always, I'm not telling you how to spell world. If you don't, get a goddamn dictionary. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. There's also a Facebook group for this particular podcast that is at facebook.com/groups/Dem Thrones. Let's see.
Them dragons.
Yeah, we are not Dem Thrones no more. You're right. Dem Dragons. I'm glad we have it down here at the bottom because I may say the wrong thing. Also, you can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Creation World. And you can also catch us live, twitch.tv/Creation World. If you're not watching live, if you are watching live right now, thank you very much. See, and if you're watching us on Twitch, go ahead and subscribe to us there because we really appreciate that. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming. And that gives you 1 free Twitch subscription every month. We would love it if you gave that to us. But honestly, if you don't give it to us, give it to somebody. Because if you don't, that's just Amazon just sitting on that money. And they got billions on billions on billions. Make them spend that money. Make them give us some of their money. We would really appreciate that.
Money.
Yeah. You can also catch us on Patreon at patreon.com/Creation World. That's where all the fun extra stuff is. Like we got Return to Wrestling with myself and Matt Ritter there, where we're talking old WCW stuff. I just enjoy making him suffer while I just thoroughly enjoy bad wrestling, but also great things that happen in wrestling because we're in the midst of the NWO now. So it's the best of WCW is happening right now. Also, you can catch Multiverse with myself and Mara Watkins there. We're talking different animated properties along the multiverse of superhero movies, comic book movies. Yeah, there's that. Also, you can come to creationworld.com and get info on everything that we do. There's also space stuff coming soon.
Space stuff.
Yeah, that'll be coming to Patreon. I'll put the first episode on YouTube there so y'all can see what it is. That way, you know what you'll be missing out on from now on. Um, yeah. Plug your shit, Matt.
You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ridders, at MATTRIDDER, or at Getting Offed. It was formerly Smacking Raw Pod. It is now at Getting Offed, which is a new horror podcast brought to you by Creation World. The first episode will be dropping this Tuesday live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Creation World and YouTube at youtube.com/Creation World. So come check us out. We will be talking all things Chucky. You can also find me every Friday live at 11:15 p.m. CST doing Smacking It Raw. Link trees are at Matt Ritter to find everything Smacking Raw Pod. We are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. You can find that on pornhub.com/model/Creation World or the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Creation Comics. And again, at Matt Ritter on Twitter only. And I think that's it.
Mara, plug your shit.
Instagram and Twitter at Mara the Shark, MARADASHARK.
You do other podcasts too.
I do. I'm also on Creation Comics, which has a Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/Creation Comics.
Cool. Well, that was fun, kids. Did y'all have fun? Because I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll catch y'all next time. Until then, we out.
Deuces and gooses.